I'm actually recording this on the day of my anniversary, so expect it to be a short one. Happy anniversary, babe. Welcome back, Midnight Society. It's your boy, the Movie Nerd, here with the review for Zombieland Double Tap. It's pretty crazy that it actually took 10 years to get the return of Abigail Breslin, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, and Emma Stone, but finally we got it. The first time I saw Zombieland, I had no expectations. I pretty much brought that with me going to see the sequel. I just went in to have a good time, and this movie actually does that. I am a sucker for a good intro, and the intro to this movie is pretty epic. I mean, give or take, it's not luxurious, just slow-mos of them killing zombies, but the effect that it had worked well into guiding it into the beginning of the film. The plot to this movie compared to the first one has a lot more depth, obviously because they've been together for 10 years now, killing zombies and spending all this time together, so now they have a different dynamic than they had in the first one. Wichita and Columbus are still in a relationship, but now Tallahassee's kind of like a father figure to Little Rock, and you see how these relationships pretty much affect the entire movie. That's pretty much the central idea of this whole movie, is how their relationship evolved from the 10 years and what they're going through now. I think I've seen 2 different Zombieland Double Tap trailers, but I don't think in either of those I saw Rosario Dawson, and then all of a sudden when the credits came and it said Rosario Dawson, I was like, she's in this movie? Give or take, her role's not huge in this movie, but it's a good amount. And the fact that I didn't know that was a great surprise. I didn't really need to have Luke Wilson in this movie. I can do it without him. The main thing this movie did great on was not changing the cast how they were 10 years ago. I mean, don't get me wrong, there has to be some evolution after these 10 years, and it did that well, but they still have that actual, what's that word? I think it's schema. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking that word is actually archetype. Yeah, they kept their archetypes from the previous movies. And that's why I actually think this movie has good delivery. You know what you want to go see. You want to see that cast from the first movie. You see that cast from the first movie just a little bit better. I do want to give a little spotlight on Zoe Deutsch. I know if you've seen the trailer, she plays like the blonde little ditzy girl, California Valley, whatever you want to call it. When I first saw her in the trailer, I really didn't know what to think. It kind of came out of left field. I thought it might drag the movie down, but she did well on it. I mean, she has other movies that I've watched and they're pretty decent, but in this one, she actually killed it. And you probably watched the trailer thinking like, oh, she's playing this blonde girl. It's really not that hard to play that role, but she does it in a way that's kind of fresh. It's definitely hilarious, in my opinion. It's not like I actually laughed in theater, but I saw it and it was like, oh my gosh, like this is good. Didn't expect it. So I definitely have to give kudos to her. Something else that I figured out when I was trying to figure out how to say her name, Deutsch. I played GoldenEye 007 growing up on 64, and I'm pretty sure they have a gun that's like the same name as her, maybe. But even then, I still didn't know how to say it. I just said, you know, like a female product, said douche. But either way, I didn't know she was the daughter of Leah Thompson from Back to the Future. Yep, that's her daughter. And after I looked at it, I was like, that makes sense. You look just like your mom. Now let's go back to the review. Yeah, that was a corny pun. Although the character development in this movie is somewhat better than the first one, it still moves pretty slow. It wasn't a lot of action. It was like plot, action, which I guess it makes sense, and you're thinking like it just can't be action the whole time. But I feel when you watch the first Zombieland, it's like the action and the plot kind of intermingle, and it's kind of not high speed, but it's just paced well. This movie wasn't slow paced per se, but it was definitely slower than the first movie. If I had to say which one's the better one, the first one or Double Tap, I'm definitely gonna go with the first one. Not to say this movie doesn't do well. I had a good time. It kept me attention, and what more could you ask from a Zombieland movie? And that's pretty much what Zombieland is. If you want to go watch a movie that has a little bit of plot, some good action, and some zombies, this is definitely what you want to go see. Non-spoiler alert, make sure you wait for the mid-credits scene. It's worth it. Not gonna say anything about it, but it's almost the best part of the movie. Wait for it. So all in all, I rate Zombieland Double Tap definitely worth watching in theaters. Zombieland Double Tap. Let me know what you think. If you saw it, if you plan on going to see it, or if you don't plan on going to see it. And as always, if you like what you see here, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society.